The next law in the state of Nebraska is the voter ID law. Now, this law would not require you to go get a separate ID just to show at the polls. That's not what this law is there for. This law would make you show a government ID, driver's license, state ID, military ID, passport, tribal ID. The list goes on and on and on and on. As long as it is a government photo ID with your name and address on it, you're good to go. There's nothing stopping you from voting. But that hasn't stopped the people who scream about saving our supposedly sacred democracy until they're blue in the face from arguing that you shouldn't have to verify who you are before you vote. That's what they're saying. Our democracy is under attack. What do you mean you should have to verify who you are before you go to vote? They don't. The funny part is these people don't see how stupid that sounds. They don't see the irony in half the stuff they say. They claim it only affects minorities and the poor. Are you saying minorities and poor people are incapable of getting an ID? Are you serious right now? Think of everyone you know and ask yourself, who doesn't have an ID? Who could I see not having an ID? Any type of government ID. Who could I see? As far as poor people, if they want to apply for food stamps, if they want to apply for jobs, if they want to apply for WIC, if they want to apply for any type of welfare, guess what they have to have? A valid ID. So unless it's a complete just homeless vagrant who's hopping from town to town on boxcars, and to be quite honest, I don't want that guy to vote in the first place. I don't think that guy cares to vote in the first place. Everyone that wants an ID has one because you have to have one to get along in this world. It's what it is. I've also seen the argument that this will make it harder for renters to vote. Well, it's weird because I rent and I update my address every time I move. You can also get a paper ID. So that way, if the ID doesn't come in time, you've got an updated ID with your address on it. It's like $30. You can go to the DMV any day you want, as long as it's not a holiday or a weekend. You can find some time. You can go do it. If someone is too lazy to go to the DMV, I don't think that's a person we want voting. Sorry. I don't mean when I say sorry. I had someone message me about this the other day. When I say sorry, that's facetious. I'm not apologizing to you. I'm saying sorry like a parent who just broke the news that you can't go out with your friends tonight. Sorry, I had to call you out on your BS. That's what I mean when I say sorry. It's filler words, stuff I got to get better on. It would also ban most mail-in voting, with the exception of people who are incapable of traveling or those in nursing homes. And obviously like soldiers and people overseas. Guys, you have the polls open at like 7 a.m. and they close at like 8 p.m. You got 13 hours. If you can find the time to do it. Your employer's required to let you find the time to do it. You're telling me you don't have a lunch hour. If you're working 13-hour days and don't have a lunch hour, you need to go to your state's Department of Labor and report them because they're committing a crime. You have time to vote. If someone cannot find 20 minutes, because there's no long lines at the polls, not in Nebraska. Give me a break. That only happens in Democrat states where they're trying to discourage conservative areas from voting, or swing states, I should say. The election comes at the same day every year. It's known for years in advance when it's coming. That's like saying it's not this big secret. It's like saying, man, Halloween snuck up on me this year. Like it was October 28th, and I didn't realize that the 31st was 3 days away. If you cannot find 13 hours, or excuse me, if you cannot find 20 minutes in a 13-hour span to go vote, it wasn't that important to you. You had other priorities, and that's okay. Not everyone needs to vote. I haven't voted in every election. A lot of people I know haven't. That's okay. But if it wasn't that important to you, it's probably not something that you were very well read on. And one thing we can all agree that we need less of is ill-informed voters, low-information voters. And if it wasn't important to you, you probably didn't have a lot of information on it. So just to wrap it all up, our democracy is so sacred that we need to have big tech come in and censor anyone who questions the results of an election, an unprecedented. Anyone who questions that needs to be censored and have their livelihoods taken from them, and have secret police terrorize candidates who claim that they got robbed. But requiring someone to follow the same steps they do to buy Bud Light or take $25 out of the bank inside the branch is somehow tyranny and a threat to our democracy. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to click the link in the description to get the full episode on Rumble. If you prefer to listen along, you can actually get us on Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. You can also go to www.outlawstreamers.com to learn more about not just my show, but tons of other great shows and all the exciting projects they have coming up. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, at Caleb Salvatore Comedy on the Chinese Spy app that is TikTok, and be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks, and we'll see you every Saturday for brand new episodes of That's Based. Peace.